People, Deluded, I'm back again. Now I've got a bit of a secret to make, people. Now, I went out a couple of days ago, was out drunk, obviously had a good day, come home now, and rather than go to bed on a night out, yeah, obviously I'm deluded in it and whatnot. I got my tactics board out, and drunk me was just going through the tactics, people, just by myself, and I should have made it into a vid, but I'm just going through the tactics, and I don't even like just going through tactics. Why am I doing that? And Aubameyang came up, and then I thought to myself, Aubameyang, obviously, I'm inclined to believe he wants to play up front. He wants to play in the central position, like you ironically saw against Crystal Palace. He played out wide, and he does that out. He does the job for the team out there wide well, but he wants to be in the middle by trade, or what I believe. But then I thought to myself, one, how do you know he actually doesn't have a problem long term in the short, medium, and long term playing out wide? How do you know that? Because True said he was doing that at Dortmund. How do you know he doesn't have an issue? Like I said, people, I believe that if you was to ask Aubameyang where he prefers, he wants to be central. You score more goals, you're in better positions. He doesn't want to be tracking people back out wide. But who's to say that there's not benefits to playing out wide? We just focus on having to go back in the dirty areas and assuming that just because you're not playing through the middle directly, nothing happens. But who's to say he doesn't want to play out wide because he's leaning on the last shoulder, and you've got someone like Lacazette where the centre-half's in an ideal world going to be occupied with him, and then you see him in an instance, like you saw for the goal we scored against Crystal Palace. Everybody was sick from every 18, 19 passes, so the whole team's basically involved, but from the Weeze's pass to Ozil making space to Lacazette controlling it, looking up and playing it, Aubameyang on the scheme of it might look like he had the easiest thing to do, but to take it in his stride, to score, and actually what I'm on about is the run, people. He was able to make that run because centre halves and the fullbacks weren't aware of him, and there was too much space because they were occupied. Who's to say if we were playing to his strengths, like Aubameyang's strengths, because that was a real Aubameyang goal. He doesn't get to score too many like that. You'd say that, and you'd probably say off the top of my head this season, Guendouzi against Spurs for Aubameyang, where it's into space, defenders only seeing him when it's too late. Real Aubameyang goal, trademark Aubameyang goal. Who's to say he hasn't got an issue with that? And if the team was set up in an ideal world, there's not a problem. The main focus of this vid, people, is just me playing devil's advocate. Who's to say that out wide thing is not an issue? Who's to say Aubameyang isn't equally as calm with playing up front as well as playing on the flanks? Like I said, we want him through the middle, and if he did prefer playing out wide, it could present issues and benefits, because you could potentially Martinelli would be the left winger and Aubameyang through the middle for me, but there's the case to interchange them and whatnot and do other things and whatnot, people. And I might be going off topic with this, and this is irrelevant from that. I should have made this into another vid, but the longer his contract business goes off, now we have to sell Aubameyang abroad. I don't think he'll go to a British rival, but surely, because of the way the market has changed and you're seeing rivals dealing with rivals, not necessarily for key players, but rivals selling to rivals generally, more so the scraps and the basement players, surely it would make sense for a club to buy him. Now again, he's a quality player, but there's not too much in terms of longevity. But surely the couple other top six rivals, because you could make a case of Spurs, I'm bugging out about Spurs, I didn't actually mean to say Spurs. Manchester United, they've signed players. I mean, you would have thought it was unthinkable Alexis Sanchez would have went there on a free transfer. Circumstances change. So there's always the case of that. And it would be a typical United signing that on paper it would be wavy. And like a lot of their signings with the Falcao's, Di Maria's, it might not work out. There's also the Chelsea aspect. They need a striker. If they put money on the table, would the Arsenal board sell? His contract's up. Aubameyang would stay in London. Fans would probably hate him, but if he doesn't mind any of that, there's that. Liverpool, now again, they've bought Ox off us. Different stature of player, but surely he'd be a couple of years under Klopp. If it could happen, that would be great. First and foremost, winning trophies. You'd be with a manager that really understands what you're about and knows you and's done good work with you. Obviously, you could move Firmino behind into the 10 and play Aubameyang up front, and just in general, you imagine how many goals Aubameyang would score in that Liverpool team. For me, it would take them up to another level. And based off what I've been saying in this video, who's to say Aubameyang would have to disrupt anybody at Liverpool? He could play through the... Well, I know Mane's there, but he could also play on the flanks as well. So on top of the abroad clubs, I guess I'm getting at, surely just in terms of being audacious enough to bid, a couple of top 6 rivals have to be looking at Aubameyang and saying, you know what, there's potentially other targets. He's a good player, but longevity, he's not world class for me, but world class is there. Aubameyang is right there, like the bracket below, like with a lot of players. And if people want to say he's world class, that's you. He's been doing it, but I think he's the bracket just below. But it's just a longevity thing. But he used to say, mainly the main focus of this video was just, he used to say, like I said, Aubameyang doesn't have a problem playing out wide. I think he would want to play in the middle, and I do think that he doesn't want to do that, and he would get cheesed off a bit if he had to do that for a season or for a very long period of time, beyond the fact of he's a team player and whatnot. But he used to say he's got an issue with that necessarily, people. I'm playing devil's advocate really and truly, and that's all I really wanted to do really with you lot, people. But got nothing more to add really and truly, so I'm going to get out of here. On that note, people, DG, I'm out. Thank you for watching and rocking.